Hey guys, welcome back. We are here in the garage again, continuing on with Josh's guitar build. So we poured the epoxy last time. It's been about a week or so, a little over a week. Last week I ended up getting kind of sick and laid up in bed for a few days. But today we're going to take her out of the mold and start milling her down and get her to rough thickness and rough shape. We're gonna square up the edges and everything, and then on Monday during practice we're gonna take it down to him and he's gonna draw out how he wants everything cut out, and we'll go from there. So we got the garage door open today. It is a nice sunny 60-degree day here in Pittsburgh, so let some of that nice sunshine shine through the garage here, get a little bit better color and everything for you guys. So let's get the drills ready, get this thing taken out, and get her milled down. All right guys, be back in a sec. All right, so we got some screws on the side here we got to take out or on all sides, get this thing popped out of here. And let's get going. All right, guys, so we got our piece taken out of the mold here, and she looks gorgeous. Let's see if I can get her lifted up here. I can show you a little bit better. Slide it this way. Just that swirl pattern on the bottom there, that looks great. And then some of that on the top too. And then once we start milling down the back and everything, she's gonna look a lot better. Get some of that lines out of there from the tape. And then we'll cut off the edges and square her up. But let's see about getting her nailed down, huh? Get her nice and flat. We'll do some sanding on it. And then after the sanding, we'll hit it with some isopropyl alcohol and get that to really pop out of there, so you can kind of see what she's going to look like once everything is finished. All right, so now we're all secured down, and we're going to use... if I can get it off out of this corner here without knocking stuff over. We're going to use this speed tool. Whoop, I am knocking stuff over. Speed tool. Router sled. No. Let's see about getting this in place. There we go. I'm going to use a speed tool router sled and this DeWalt router. I gotta get the plug for it and plug her in. Alright, so we got our piece all clamped down and in place with our hold downs, we're going to use a DeWalt corded router and a flattening bit to go ahead and flatten this guy back out. We got some raised surfaces and some divots and stuff like that in our piece. So let's get her plugged in and ready to go. We're using a speed tool router jig, flattening jig, like I said, and let's get her going. So what we're going to do now is see where our high point is, or our lowest point, or whatever, so that we can take little bits off at a time. So we're not taking too much off all at once. I think that'll be a good place to start. So let's get her going. Okay, there, guys. So we got her all flattened on one side. And you can see a lot of those mill marks and everything like that. So we're just going to take 60 grit and then an 80 grit. And we might do 120 on this side as well, just to kind of get some of those rough edges and everything like that we have here out. And go on from there. And then we'll flip her over, do the other side, just a couple passes, and we should be good to go. All right, let's get to sanding. Remember, wear your mask. You don't want any of that in your lungs there. So you can see as we start going here, we're getting some of those mill marks out from the flattening jig and everything. Just hit it with the 60 grit first, then we'll hit it with the 80 and then the 120. You saw me using the speed tool flattening jig with the DeWalt router there. If I had a CNC machine or a place to put a CNC machine, then I would have used that to flatten that out a little bit better, a little bit faster maybe. But we got to do what we got to do here. And so just going along and getting everything ready to go and flat. And once we get done with this, we'll spray it with some isopropyl alcohol and make that pop and get a little insight as to what we're going to see here whenever everything's said and done. Hey. Okay, so we hit that with a 60 to knock off those mill marks, 80 to try to get it a little bit better. And then we just nail it with a 120 grit to get her nice and smooth flat. So now let's grab our isopropyl alcohol and some paper towels here. And we'll spray that on our piece, and then we can kind of see what she's going to look like. Oh, I have a feeling she's going to look pretty sweet. Oh, look at that pattern. Oh, that looks so good. Those swirls, man, I'm telling you. Look at how beautiful that looks. Yeah. Oh, that color. That color of those swirls, that looks so pretty. Man, does that look good. And once that's all nice and buffed and polished, and that knot turned out really nice. Now it is going to haze back over here just because it was isopropyl, but God, that looks so good. So we're going to hit it one more time with the 120 because that isopropyl made some of the end grain, or some of the grain on the wood stand up a little bit. The thing I am catching here is there are some voids, some little bubbles that ended up happening during our curing and everything. But we're going to hit that with a, what's called a flood coat once I get everything good to go, which will fill those holes in and everything and turn this a nice glossy color, or nice glossy finish and everything. So with that, let's go ahead and get her flipped, and I will do the other side, or the back side, make sure she's all nice, flat, and ready to go, and get that all sanded on that side, and we'll go from there. All right, guys. Be back after I get that side milled up. Okay there, guys. So we got both sides flattened and sanded to 120 just to give it a nice little finish pop. Well, as we spray it down and show Josh and everything. But now we gotta go ahead and trim her up, square the sides, get some of this nasty caulking and everything off the sides there. So we're gonna try to take probably about 1/4 inch off each side here. So measure 1/4 inch on this side. I'm not left-handed. So that puts us maybe a little less than 1/4 inch We'll go right there. And on the side. Okay. Grab my straight edge. Line up both sides. Yeah, we're not taking much off, just enough. So, yeah, while we're at it, let's mark this side too. Grab our truck sole. Get it real nice and lined up. As you can see, we're not taking much off. Just enough. That looks good. So we're just gonna go ahead and trim up the edges and try to get it as square as we can. Though Josh is gonna go ahead and draw on here whatever he needs. You can see me pointing out there that nice big booger of caulking that ended up sticking into the epoxy. So we're gonna take a nice big chunk off that side. But we're gonna go ahead and trim up everything nice and as square as we can and get her going. So we'll see what happens from here. There. Yeah, slightly out, but barely. It's not gonna matter because Josh is going to draw on what kind of body he wants. Yeah, we're slightly out on that one too. Okay, so that is it. And lastly, this quarter, which is out, but it's okay. Like I said, Josh is going to draw on here what kind of body he wants and everything anyway. So that's it. Now we're going to take it to him on Monday to practice, and he's going to go ahead and draw on there what he wants, and we'll get it cut out. But she is going to look absolutely gorgeous. All right there, guys. So there we go. We got our piece or our guitar body out of the form, flattened on both sides, squared up on the ends, sanded down. We got to see what it's going to look like a little bit with the color pop and everything after throwing some isopropyl alcohol on it. So next up, get it to Josh, see what he wants to do with it. So we'll see where he goes with that, and hopefully next time we can get that started to cut out, and, you know, shaped and everything like that. And I know I keep saying, oh yeah, we need to do the fretboard and the neck and everything, but honestly, that's the part that's going to scare the living heck out of me. Because if I don't get the frets put in right, then this thing's not going to sound right. So I'm holding off as much as I can, but she's coming down the pipeline here. Hopefully we'll get to that pretty soon as well. And I'll have to just kind of bite the bullet and go, hey, come on, let's go. So thanks for stopping in. Thanks for viewing. Thanks for listening to me ramble on a little bit and watching this epoxy guitar body take shape. All right, guys. Catch you in the next one. Thanks. See ya.